Did you watch the video with Spawn?
The one in the locker room where he's
Yes.
saying like how everybody should thank Yuji. Yeah, I watched that.
Personally, so for context, and I'm gonna be paraphrasing because there's been a lot of stuff going on today, so like do bear with us. But one of the things that Spawn said is that Yuji came into one of the most toxic environments he's seen in League of Legends history. That is a big shoes to fill, considering that's not even probably the most toxic Team Liquid environment we've they've ever been in. Like, I don't think we're anywhere remotely close to a breaking point. But these guys were, like, coming into the year, they were the defending champions. They were, oh, one of the defending champions. One of the best teams of the past year and a half, taking T1 to the multiple free games, having good international showings, and then by the end of it, you lost 3-0 to 100 Thieves. That floor is extremely low. But my question is, what players is making this environment extremely toxic?
I can answer the question.
I don't want to speculate unless there's been things that have been said, like publicly.
I'm not speculating. I'm talking facts. So okay, I can't answer that question, but what I can answer is what I can say is Impact has been on a 9th place team twice in his career. Once on Team Liquid back in 2020, which that team everybody thought was a super team, was going to win the league, right? They had just won 4 splits in a row.
Yep.
And then the next team was FlyQuest in 2023, where they basically everybody was like, they're going to win everything. They're going to go undefeated. Oh my God, this FlyQuest team is amazing in spring. They go in summer. They finish 9th. Like, absolutely, like, spectacular failure. And from someone who's coached Impact, named Peter Dunn, right? He worked with him on EG. He says, Impact is a very intense person. He is not surprised that when teams do very well, he is able to elevate that team. But he's also not surprised that when things don't do well, that he's part of it. He's like, you're an intense person in a very intense environment. I don't think he's doing any favors to the environment. Now, that doesn't mean he's a bad player. That doesn't mean he's a bad, like, overall negative. I just think that he increases things. He's a force multiplier. If you guys are spiraling downwards, you're going to spiral downwards even more with Impact. If you guys are spiraling upwards, you're going to spiral upwards even more with Impact. Now, why is the team going on the down? I think there's a couple of reasons. I think one of the things we gave APA a lot of credit for last year has changed. Where like he had his champions. He found out he was very, very good at macro. He was very good at moving with the team. And guess what? It was all Yuji. And it was all Umti. Like, he was called the general for a reason. We didn't see it, but he was the one in the mid jungle duo. He was the one leading APA. Sure, let me just finish the thought.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, he's the one that was leading APA, and without him, he's lost. Like, APA, his hands fell off, and when he got his hands back, his brain, like, he doesn't know where to be on the map. He's not. This Team Liquid team had world-class macro. You don't lose that overnight. Clearly something happened. You know what happened? Lane swap got removed, but that doesn't change the fact that they were still really good at macro even before that. They had Core JJ. The thing is, it is a mid-jungle, like, centric. Like, the mid and the jungle are the ones that control the game in this meta. Like, even Inspired, he's like, the junglers are the ones that are controlling it. And Core can't have the impact that he wants because he's not the jungler. And if it was Core, I'm pretty sure they would still be doing better. They brought in a rookie into Yuji, who was the worst jungler in the LCS, in the LTA. No shade to Yuji. Like, he's new. He should be in a position of learning, not leading. And when APA had to lead, guess what? He's like, I don't know how to do that. And we saw what we saw. Like, this is why the floor is so low. You take away one of the fundamental bricks, and things collapse.
The funny thing about that is, Spawn went on to say that, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, kind of not, where he said, I hope for some players, changing the jungler is now an eye-opening experience. So what he's basically saying is, some of you wanted a jungle change, and this is what you get. Tell me these players. Because, obviously, yes, like, the Umpty stuff, like, he needed to like step away from this environment, absolutely. But I want to know what players were wanting to make this team fundamentally worse. I don't blame UG at all. I hope he gets another chance to split next split, sorry. On Team Liquid. I think he's an exceptional talent that was for I don't think any jungler really is going in and saving that ship, like as a rookie, by the way. Not and like I am looking at the two like I'm looking mainly at Core and Impact to step up and lead this team. Because like Yon's not gonna do it, he's too quiet. Like he isn't gonna like vocalize what he wants, like as much as he can carry this team, and he was putting on exceptional performances just to make this team even half relevant. But I worry, and I know APA's mum, Stacy, I believe, watches our content. Thank you, like, so much. I am worried for the future of their solo laners. I will, like, openly admit that. I don't know what direction they're going in, and especially with Quid on the market. I'm just so... And, sorry, actually, I want to also go to a point I made at the very start of the year. I didn't think Spawn remote was going to work. And everyone was hyping up like, oh, the Spawn buff, he comes in, Spawn's the greatest coach in like any history. I called it from the jump that Spawn was not going to work as a remote coach, and I've been proven right on that. Like you need a coach that's consistently there to put your arm around players when time goes tough. No amount of webcams, as he like stated as well, like in like interviews, like he has like webcams and stuff like put around the facilities to make him feel like he's there. No amount of remote access is going to solve any problems, and I always equate like remote coaches to like supply teachers in like high school. It's like when your main teachers, I don't know what you call it in America, like substitute teachers.
Subs, yeah,
Yeah,
substitute
like
teacher.
as soon as the real teacher's gone out of the classroom, like the class is going to misbehave. It pretty much like felt like that the second Spawn wasn't in the country, and even when Spawn came back, there was just unforeseen problems that he couldn't fix. And like, if I need to make a prediction, I don't think he's going to be the head coach of Team Liquid next year. What I would do is I would move him to an upper management position where he can still, because I do think he has a good eye for facilitating new talent, and he has a good eye for how a team should be built. He consistently talks about like the 2-3 split, whether that's 3 young players and 2 veterans, or 2 young players and 3 veterans. And in TL's case, they had 2 veterans, 1.5 veteran, and 1 rookie. It's kind of a weird formula at the end, but changes are coming to that team. Like they can't stick together as is, and Spawn kind of alluded to that. He said some players are at like a crossroads. I don't like to speculate, but it kind of alludes to, I think, Core and Impact is like, do you still have a passion to play the game at a high level? Because they are coming towards the tail end of the career, and they have to make like their next decisions, basically.
I think it's Impact, and I'll tell you why. Impact at the beginning of the year did an interview with me, and he said, like, of course I'm thinking about retiring. As of right now, I'm winning everything, so I'm not really thinking about it. But like, if we don't do well this year, that I probably will consider it.
Yeah.
He makes a public comment like that, and then his coach is like, some of us are at crossroads. It's like, okay, who else are you talking about? I don't think Core TJ is ready just yet. I thought Core and Yon, like together as a bot lane, are still really good. I would keep Core TJ, but I just think that like you were saying, the remote coaching just didn't work out. There were problems that were festered probably for a lot longer than if you had your coach on site and could like feel it, not just see it. I think one of the things that was kept happening, this was so frustrating, especially like end of split 1, beginning of split 2. Before that, I actually want to respond to what you were saying, how maybe some of the players wanted jungle changes. is the jungler that got you very far, but not far enough to beat Asian teams. But at the same time, he was the floor that made it so that you guys were top 2 every single split you played. you remove the floor in order to get like higher upside. You didn't get higher upside, you get a much lower floor. And this goes back to like on the LTA Discord. Oh my, so many people are like, oh, just get in UG. Why don't they pick up UG? UG's amazing. UG's amazing. I'm like, guys, we've seen it time and time again. These super rookies come in. It takes them time before they can actually become like this Team Liquid team is a win now team. You cannot just throw a rookie in and expect them to win now. TSM did it in 2018 when they brought in Mike Young. That was the first time in their history, in LCS history, that they didn't make finals. Like the number of times you make this mistake, like orgs have made this mistake of having a bunch of veterans and one rookie, and then it all collapses, and you're like, I wonder why it happens. It's like, what? Because it just doesn't work. So when you guys are just saying Yuji's an amazing player, sure, he's a great jungler. He's the worst one in LTA for good reason. It's not his fault, right? Like the team around him is not helping him develop, and while the rest of the places they have more experience. Like Audieland has played his heart out. Like Audieland was really good. I know he went out like less than UG, but he played better. XU had like the series of his life just recently. Shaden was better than him, and Shaden was like just average. You know, Contracts, River, Inspired, Blabber, all these junglers are just like, what is he's facing against the strongest role in NA. Historically, jungle has been very difficult. So he came into a very difficult position with the expectation that he's going to be better than Umti, that he's going to get to the world stage and not choke like Umti, not throw like Umti. He can't even get them there. What are you talking about? And like, I know there were some Team Liquid fans that were like, guys, if we sign Yuji, it's going to be for next year. Like, it doesn't make sense. And like, there was some voice of reason. But most people who know anything about NECL were just like, oh my God, put in Yuji. Like, just get rid of Impact. Put in Zamudo or put in Surdy. Like, there's so much better players. And like, they go up against them and get destroyed. Like, even Inspired was like, dude, the series against one of these was complete jungle. Like, Yuji is invisible in these games. He doesn't know what to do. It's his first time playing in LCS. Like, he doesn't know. So that like the fact that the players were thinking, oh, we should change jungle. If you think let's change jungle, you go get like a Way from BLG, or you get like an import jungle. You get someone with experience, someone with pedigree, someone with a backbone, with a spine, someone who can actually stand up and like lead the team. You don't get a rookie, right? Which Thorin made a really good point. He was like, why did you bring in Yuji? Why didn't you bring in like an import? You had an import slot. You already had an import like in Umti. You already have all of the Korean structure, right? You have 4 Korean speakers on your main roster. Or sorry, 3. The jungler that comes in will be 4. Your coach speaks Korean and Rain over. Dodo, your GM speaks Korean. Like, you just have a lot of structure for Korean facilities and stuff like that. And so like just do it. But they didn't. They chose Yuji. They still had to get him. He's an import. Like, they had to get him a visa, which, I mean, great for him. Again, I'm not harping on Yuji. It's like, I don't think Yuji fit on the Team Liquid project. And we saw that.
It's just now the question is, what do you do? Because maybe it's too early to talk about roster changes. I definitely am of the opinion that Spawn will not be there as the head coach. I wouldn't chuck him away, because I do think he's a valuable asset to North American League Legends, and I do think he has a good eye for roster building. I just think this iteration of TL didn't work out like down the stretch, and the problem they had is they lost confidence in how to win games. Like, I think Dom said this perfectly, is that you'd see them so many times, and even in this FlyQuest series recently, they had leads, and they were never able to close a single game out, which is surprising given I thought TL, even with FlyQuest, was the best macro team in the league. I thought TL were a better macro team than FlyQuest. But they just never could close out any of these games like later on in the year. And like Sven said it on it was Sven or Dom. One of the C9 people said TL were like consistently smashing us in scrims like at the start of the year, but by like mid to the end of the year, they never won a single game against us. Which will also lead down to a point later where it's like, well, why didn't you pick TL in your upper bracket series? But we'll get
the number of people that were saying DSG are better than. Oh my But yeah, just to answer your question about like what does Team Liquid grow from there? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they just get rid of their solo laners and get a new coach. Like either at this point you promote Reignover, like we know he's like the brains behind the operation. I think the reason they're not promoting Reignover is because he might not be the greatest at like people personing, but he's just
when
extremely smart at the
when he
game.
was on C9, he did not want to be a coach. Like we had him as our head coach at the start of
Oh, that's
the
right. You guys ended up
2021
having, and
season,
he chose
and
to,
then
yeah.
he decided to step down, and that's when Miffy took over. That's when we did like a carousel of like our assistant coaches becoming our coaches, but none of them actually were good enough to be head coaches.
Yeah, so you bring in like a more people person. Like I wouldn't. Yeah, you bring in someone who can work in like the dynamics. You keep. I don't know if Swiffer is like that person. I don't know if you move on from him, but you need to like look. If Spawn is not, you cannot guarantee Spawn is going to sign a 2-year contract and be like, hey, I'm going to be on this time for. He just has to. He has other priorities with his family. Complete respect to him, but like from Team Liquid's perspective, hey, if you're not going to be a coach, like
I
on
think
the
that's where
ground, I think Yamato. Oh,
I
go
think
ahead.
that's where being like a someone in management for them, like their new like director of esports for the League of Legends program. I know Dodo has like a big influence in the team, but I definitely think that Spawn's probably your best guy. If you want to set up a League of Legends program, Spawn's one of your guys. Like he's got the discipline, he's got the drive, he's got the know-how, he's got like a really good idea for roster building. Like I've alluded to multiple times, he really needs he really needs to step up into a new position, in my opinion. Maybe he
Yeah, I
could
mean,
make it work.
I'm down
Maybe
to
he can
like
make it
promote
work
him
next
to
year.
head.
Like it's at the end of the day, it's down to Spawn, down to Team Look Good. I don't know what that conversation's going to look like, but yeah, it's a bit doomed.
We actually have a question about like if you were the GM of Team Liquid. So let's keep that for later in the Q&A
Yeah.
section.